before we get ready to sign off. Yeah, man, I was trying to get through. Y'all had me on hold. No, the phone lines are open.
Why?
You didn't do so well this weekend.
What you mean?
Because I recall you said the Bucks wouldn't get past Atlanta.
I was wrong on Atlanta. I was really wrong.
How did AJ Green look to you?
Huh?
My boy AJ Green.
It was everybody else that was supposed to do what they're supposed to do. But during the game, who I was getting a text from a listener. Boy, they owe Chris Middleton. I'm like, dude just got back, man. Give dude a break. Yeah, but that was surprising. Oh man, and I'm a fan of Badger volleyball. Oh, they got stumped by Nebraska. Nebraska. Oh my God, they played them in Nebraska. Oh, they got stumped. But people kind of sleep on the Wisconsin women's volleyball team. Yeah. They're good. Yeah, but they had nothing for Nebraska. Yeah, so the phone lines are open, and certainly in Arizona, if you're listening, the phone lines are certainly open. Huh?
Yeah.
Oh yeah, that whole pro volleyball thing, man. That's really big. And then
beach
volleyball is big in the Olympics. Yeah. So yeah, it was. There is. You remember Harold Miner?
Of course,
his daughter plays for Stanford.
Really?
She's the best setter in the country.
She's a center?
Setter.
Oh, setter. Oh, she played volleyball.
She played volleyball. She's the best in the country, man.
Yeah, Harold Miner was a monster.
Yeah. Supposed to be Baby Jordan.
Man,
he didn't quite pan out, did it?
Man, he was sweet 3-ounce baby Jesus.
Yeah, USC. You know what? I got a chance to see them play in the regionals. George Raveling was coaching USC. Yeah. Someone hooked us up when Marquette hosted the regional. It was a few years back. And I think that year was them. I got a chance to see them play USC. I don't know if that was the same year Tim Duncan and Wake Forest came.
Yeah.
But yeah. I mean, he had great ability, but she's great, man.
Nice.
So anyway, let's get back to the good news. The Packers look. You know what? Detroit is going the other way. I think Detroit's going to lose some more games. The fact that the Packers only lost by 3 in Detroit, that was an indicator. Packers scored 30 points. But what was the score yesterday? It was almost like a basketball score, 48-42 or something like that, where the Bills beat Detroit. The Bears are not going to beat Minnesota tonight, so that's just not going to help. But man, and I know that Craig is listening. Derek Stingley, that boy, he balls, man. He balled out yesterday. Yeah, Derek Stingley Jr., man. So, yeah, how about them Packers? I can't say anything about the Cowboys because I don't even know if it matters. A whole lot has to happen for the Cowboys to even get in the playoffs. But they went in and beat up on the Panthers yesterday. That Colts Bronco game. Oh, man, the Colts figure out different ways to lose games. They throw a lateral dude, do a pick six. Like, oh, man. So anyway, feeling good. Packers won. Bucks won. They get OKC tomorrow night. And Doc says something. He said, look, the veterans, it's another game. He said, for those rookies,
man, they want that bread.
They want that money, $500,000.
They want that done.
Yeah, so he said he had more rookies coming up hugging him after that game. And they looking at $500,000. OKC is strong, though.
Yeah, they young.
They're young and strong. But I was really surprised the Bucks, they played well. As a matter of fact, they started off running.
Yeah.
But age catch up.
See, I think too, once we get Chris back into the fold.
Oh yeah.
And he's really back to himself.
But I can't believe, and maybe what is Ajax? Is he a rookie?
No, he's
second
year.
Trae Young did the same move on him 3 times.
Dude.
And he fouled him 3 times.
Yeah.
He fouled out, didn't he?
Yeah. Him and AJ Green fouled
Let
out.
him go. He's past you now.
Yeah.
Let him go to the help.
Some of that stuff Trae Young know how to throw himself into.
Oh,
you.
Man,
so once he get by you,
then you going full speed trying to catch him. He stopped.
He stopped him.
He went right into him, man.
Yeah. So, Chris Paul move.
Chris Paul. Yeah. So anyway, Packers won. Dude ain't called yet.
Yeah, man. Look, I was so hoping, man. I was at home getting dressed, and I thought about it. Like, I can't wait until this cat call.
Oh man.
I can't.
Oh,
wait.
you're gonna be waiting. You're gonna be waiting. Here's the other. Michelle was talking about the young man who got put out the car.
Why you laugh like that, Keith?
Dude,
Hilarious.
there's this whole debate about, do you discipline your children when you're angry?
Oh yeah.
And my mother used to say, I'm not going to whoop you now.
Oh yeah.
Because I'll kill you.
Yeah.
And that's the whole thing about parents. It makes parenting very difficult. Excuse me. Because you're an emotional human being too. And when you're angry, you're just that angry. And I've seen my mother do some things in anger. And I thought, ooh. That was before, I guess, Child Protective Service. Monique told the joke. She said her daughter said, I'm gonna call Protective Service. And she said, well, B, you got to get to the phone. It's just like, I'm gonna let you get to the phone. You got to get to the phone. I wish I would threaten. I'm gonna call Child Protective Service on you. Oh, different group coming out the corner.
Pooper scooper. They're gonna bring the pooper scooper. Scoop you right on up.
Yeah. It would be like, how many of y'all though, if you grew up, how many of y'all got mad at your mama and said, I want to go live with my daddy?
Yeah, but realize it wasn't good.
Wasn't that good? I want to go live with my daddy. We'll go live with him. If you can find him, go live with him. Go ahead.
That's brutal.
He foul.
If you can find him. Oh man.
I knew where mine's at.
That's brutal.
Go live with your daddy. You didn't know what a hobo stick is?
I did once. They said literally the stick, but at first I didn't because they said because she said a hobo package. I think she said.
Yeah. You
And
put
so
it
I was
on
like,
the stick.
"What's a hobo package?"
Did you ever see the
But I
movie?
still don't know what's inside.
You ever see the
of
movie A Christmas Story? Because in the Christmas Story, the little boy decided he gonna run away, so he put together this little hobo thing.
Oh yeah.
And then he said, "But I'm gonna wait
true.
until after dinner." Wait till after.
Right. Yeah. No, I just couldn't remember
Or the sister said when her mama put the boy out on the porch and it was cold, and she got mad when he brought her a coat.
At least he was only on the porch.
Yeah, it's still cold.
I mean, yeah,
She could have caught a case for that.
Well, I mean,
Kid get frostbite.
Well, I mean, I'm gonna leave you out there forever, but just long enough.
She said it was 2 hours.
Long enough for you to understand.
5 minutes is long enough for me to understand
what's happening. I mean, but I just think about some of the stuff my mom and my granddad did. They should have been under the jail.
Oh man, my mother
under the jail.
Under the jail.
But then that's why
that's why I was in the money drawer, Jay.
Y'all saw? Oh yeah,
right.
Please rob him blind. Rob him blind. I'm like, he ain't talking to me.
Let me get
because I robbed them Negroes blind. You hear me?
Oh,
and they knew I was robbing them blind. I know my granddaddy knew.
Oh, he got through.
Arizona said I ain't scared.
Yeah, well, it wasn't right.
Arizona said I ain't scared.
Friday he got in here at 9:04.
I heard. I was listening.
He got in here at 9:04.
He said,
let him on, Jay. No, let him on, Jay.
Let him on.
Let him on.
Oh, man. Oh, man. Oh,
Caller, welcome to the program. Give me the crickets, man.
Where you at, boss?
Where you at, man?
Hey, you ain't want to talk or nothing, huh?
Funeral services for the Seattle Seahawks was held yesterday.
Hey, but listen,
entrusted into the care
of OBs.
Let me tell you about Debo. I called this morning on Michelle about 9 times. Debo answered the phone now 1 time.
What?
Not one time.
Yeah, he
I
never-
called your show Michelle about 9 times. He didn't answer the phone at all.
Yeah, he called
But now,
he called at 9:20.
But now,
He called at 8:20. He called at 8:30.
Let me talk. I called Michelle show about 9 times. Debo, nobody answered the phone.
We answered the
Now
phone.
I called Keisha at 8:50. They answered my phone call like it was an emergency.
Because it's a whole new captain in the seat. You understand me? It's right out in the seat.
I mean,
This is right out in the seat.
Listen, y'all answered the phone like if my mama was calling the school and they got a hold of me.
Debo said he saw you. We wasn't ready. And then why you calling Michelle? You know Michelle ain't gonna have that conversation with you. That's why you call
He
Michelle.
called me about something else.
No, he won't.
Yeah, he called me about other stuff.
I was calling about that bad old kid that got left on the highway.
See,
Oh, okay.
see.
Oh, that's what you was calling about.
He called me about
That's what I was calling about. I don't never call Michelle show talking about no football. That ain't in her mind. So why would I call her show about football? But I'm calling your show
program to
about
talk
football.
about football. So let's talk about football.
Hey, what place y'all in?
Huh?
What place y'all in?
What place we in?
Y'all in third place.
That's right. Because
In y'all division.
we play in the most competitive division in football.
Oh, now finally.
Okay. All right. So what happened?
Detroit wasn't that good.
What happened?
Wait. Detroit wasn't that good. Minnesota wasn't that good. The Bears ain't never been good. So that wasn't too competitive.
Okay. All right. So let's talk about what actually happened.
It was a good game, and we lost our quarterback.
He was struggling. Don't he
It's
lead?
bad.
I didn't know this little stat came up. He leads the league in red zone interceptions. So it would have made a difference.
And wait. When you describe, and he has the most yards in the NFL. Did you miss that stat?
I got all of that, but how many points?
Oh, you missed that.
No, I didn't miss that. How many points? Because it's about the points.
It's about the points.
Oh yeah, it's about the points.
Heck yes, about the points.
Huh? Yards don't win the game. It's points.
D, but don't worry, don't talk if you can't answer no phone.
Get him!
Hey, listen, ain't he on the mic, he in the background of the basement trying
Let me
to
ask you-
answer the question.
Let me ask you a question. How many packs of Newports did you smoke before you called?
Newports, I don't even smoke.
I know you do, but hey, after that game, you might have started.
Got him!
But guess what I did? But I did have a couple shots afterwards.
I bet you did. Oh yeah, I bet you did.
Hey, I feel like that mama left. Leave me on the highway. I'm gonna walk home. Please leave me on the highway. I'm gonna walk home.
You know what, man? That's
Guess what?
my mother.
I'm calling on Monday, so I don't want to hear him off on Friday.
Okay, my mother. Growing up back in the day, the worst threat you could get was that you were going to DT, right? Detention center. Nobody wanted. Yeah, you want to go DT. So my mother got so mad at me. Oh man, I did something. My mother got so mad, and so I'm talking crazy to her, right? I mean, I'm really talking crazy.
She put you on the highway?
No, wait a minute. So my mother go, okay, because I'm trying to forestall this whooping. So my mother go, all right, that's not a problem. I'm gonna send your blank to the detention center tomorrow morning. I'm going, yep. Ain't no way my mother gonna send me to detention center, right? So my mother walks halfway through. She gets into Gary's room because my room was in the back, and then there's Gary's room, and Gary had linoleum on the floor. And I hear my mother those quick little steps, and then she stopped. Then I heard a reverse come my way. She said, "Yeah, you know what? I'm gonna whoop your blank tonight, and then see."
Hey, she thought about it.
Right, then I get up in the morning. She go, you still want to go to the detention center? No, we handled that
No,
last
good.
night. That's off the table.
Right.
Now.
You got me
already. That's off the table.
I just served my time.
I
already.
did my time. Right. You know, you trying to put me on paper. No, I'm done. You took care of it last night. We good. We just move on. So, man, I can't even talk about the Cowboys. The Cowboys won yesterday.
Yeah. Wait, Michelle still there?
Yep, I'm here.
Let me tell you. I knew that wasn't a white dude when he got put on the highway. I knew he had to be Mexican or black.
Oh yeah.
Because we ain't finna take no smart talking from no kid. No. You said what you finna do?
Yeah.
All right, I'm finna show you. All right, I-94, and I'm finna go to work, and you finna get to where you need to get to.
Yeah, it was a Hispanic mom. And you know, somebody had even posed a question, like, I wonder if it would have been different had the parents involved been white and the child that got put on the side of the road was white. You know, because it was a freeway, I don't know that it would have been a lot different. But for sure, yeah, black parents, Hispanic parents, we was responding very differently. Like, ain't nobody playing with you.
What keep saying? Before I leave, it come back to slavery.
Wait a minute. And if your wife puts you out the car, your wife put you out the car on the freeway.
Oh, that's different though.
Oh my
that's
God.
a whole nother subject.
I remember one time Rodney got so bad we was dating.
The police ain't coming to get you.
And she said,
they're gonna say, "Wait, get out." My wife
let me out the car.
Well, you better keep walking, bro.
I said, "Well, go and get out the car. Go, the car moving. I ain't stopping. Go, keep on, go. Yeah, so you can put out your car.
Go to the road out of there.
Yeah, you got to put out your car.
Your car.
Yeah, I got to put out your car.
Not with the Buick Century.
Have you seen those Fords that are self-driving on the highway?
What?
No, we have they are Porsche cars, Porsche SUVs.
Yeah.
And they are called Waymores, and they are self-driving cars.
Yep.
And they pick you up as an Uber. They call Waymores, and they just pick you up, drop you off.
No, this is actually your car is hand-free.
What?
You know? Yeah, your car is hand-free, and you can drive. Now, my truck has cruise control where I still have to steer, but it brakes, it accelerates. You know, whatever speed you put in, that's what it's going to do. It goes with traffic flow. You know, so but that whole idea, you not having to put your hands on the steering wheel. Ooh, that's giving up a whole lot of control.
No, I'm telling you, we have it's called Waymore. You order the app off your phone, and they pick you up, and you sit in the back of the car. You can pick your music, and whatever you do, they'll drop you off, and it's called Waymore. They stop at every light, but they do be having malfunctions in them.
Yeah, I was
sometimes the only thing they have them roundabouts. They'll keep going in circles on you.
Yeah,
because they're confused about it.
In circles.
All right, man. Let me get this call. Appreciate you, man, and thank you for being a good sport, man.
Yes, sir.
All right, caller, welcome to the program. Good morning. Good morning.
Yeah,
hey, what's happening?
We was laughing last night. He was wondering if he was gonna call this morning. We was rolling at the table like, oh, he ain't calling this morning. I got to give him his kudos.
Yeah,
I knew y'all was gonna try to eat him up last night.
He manned up. I give him.
That's what I'm saying. I give him his kudos. I
don't know how I would have responded. And it's interesting how Seattle has become a rivalry for the Packers, because the Packers and Seattle have had some crazy games, man. Some crazy games. So, yeah, and they said that that usually the one touchdown is really a competitive kind of thing. Whoever thought it would be Seattle? It's like the Bucks and the Pacers. You know, when the Pacers become like rivals.
Keith, I was noticing you always make mention of when the Packers win, people wear their gear. You got on Packer gear today.
That's right. That's right.
I'm not used to seeing you in that attire.
Yeah, because you know.
Well, let me say this. Don't get too excited when they play Detroit again. I don't know what's going on with their coach, but that dude gambled too much.
Yeah.
There's no way he should have went for an onside kick with the fourth quarter just starting. I don't know what he'd be thinking about sometimes. He gambles too
Dan
much.
Campbell,
He
you know,
playing
the
Madden.
mad genius. I mean, I hate Dan Campbell.
He playing Madden, man.
Yeah, he cost them a game
Yeah,
last
because
year. So no,
they was only 10 points. They was 10 points down.
Yep.
Was he scared to trust his defense or something?
right, because his defense is decimated with injuries, man. That was the thing that was carrying them. It was their defense, and they
But you
lost.
see, they almost
Hutchinson
came back and
and-
won. So just think if he wouldn't have did that, they still might have had the possibility of winning that game yesterday.
Well,
It's just like Giannis. Was that last week?
oh, you shot
I
that.
think they was beating Boston, and Giannis pulls up on the three,
Yeah.
and it went downhill after that.
Oh,
I'm
man,
like,
everybody was missing shots. It was like, dude. I mean, we talk about shots they normally make.
I'm like, if I was Doc Rivers, I don't care. I'm letting Giannis. You better not ever
well, I
do
don't
that
know.
again.
I don't know how you tell 50 million they can't do that.
No, you the coach of the team. Fire me.
Yeah, well, they will fire you, obviously.
Okay.
Look at Adrian.
Right,
Get him out of
Adrian,
here.
Budenholzer.
Yeah.
So they're paying 3 coaches right
Gee.
now. So yeah,
Yeah, I still don't agree with that. They should have never fired that coach. I still don't agree with that. They should have let him just play out.
Budenholzer?
If anything, let him play it out the season. No, the black guy.
No, it's about Adrian Griffin.
Adrian Griffin.
Yeah, I never understood that move.
I heard that he came to practice and told. Now I don't know how true this is. You know, one of my guys that worked down at the place said that he told Giannis his brother was trash, and right after that they got rid of him.
Wow, come on, right out.
Thanasis be at all the games, though,
serious,
right?
man.
He was at the
serious.
game.
That's what they told.
So is he's not on the team no more, right?
No, I don't think he has a contract this year
Oh, okay.
because he got injured
Yeah.
at the Olympics.
Yeah.
And I just wanted to tell Michelle what she put in the hobo bag was my clothes.
Oh, okay.
I told her I didn't love her no more.
Ouch.
Yeah, you had to go, boy.
I was only like 5 or 6. Come
Yeah,
on,
you
man.
had to go though. You had to go, bro.
If Ronnie ever wanted to get Caitlin, she said, "Caitlin, I'm not going to be your friend." And Caitlin would go nuts.
Yeah, you
Why?
gotta go.
I'm not going to be your
But
friend.
you know what was
Why?
funny, Michelle? And Michelle, you know what's funny about it? When she put me on the porch, I didn't know that she had called my grandparents. So she said she was looking out the door, but I couldn't see her. She said I kept looking back with a sad face when she had called my grandparents. And the other thing I wanted to know, what's wrong with brown socks?
Key,
Who?
what's wrong with brown socks?
Brown socks.
What's wrong with brown? Just start
Brown
there.
socks. What's wrong
With
with
brown
brown
socks?
Let's
socks?
start with brown.
What's wrong with brown?
I have never seen you in brown, Michelle.
Keith, I got 3 slick brown suits, a pinstripe with white stripes, about 2 or 3 brown. Man, Keith, I thought you was a dresser.
I am, but I don't do brown. Brown ain't part of my color scheme.
Oh.
It's too
So
earthy.
you don't
on
have brown
top.
shoes either?
I do have shoes more like they'd be brown, but they're not like dark brown. I saw a very nice pair of blue shoes, and I thought, wow, would I wear blue shoes?
Dude, I got
Why
a
not?
rainbow of color of shoes. Whatever suit I got on, that's what color my shoes gonna be.
Let's
I
see, y'all.
would. I got some.
Y'all match coordinate.
Some of the coldest pair of shoes I ever bought. My husband was a pair of blue Maris. Some shoes were so stupid.
So what y'all think gonna happen on Tuesday?
I think Kamala Harris has a real good chance of winning. Oh, it's not the election.
Oh man, that's brutal.
That's a good one.
Oh man, that is brutal.
I think they got a chance.
I think they got a chance. I think
Me too.
if they play well and they can shut down old boy, because I don't know who else on that team can
No.
score. But their defense,
Yeah.
man, OKC's defense.
If they could cut down on their turnovers,
Yeah, I think they
and
can beat them.
Giannis can make more free throws. Just think how many games they probably win. And how many points Giannis could make if he would hit his free throws.
Well, hey, Shaquille O'Neal, right?
He worse than Shaquille.
Oh,
Nah.
I think Shaquille is.
Yes.
You know, one of the people that always amazed me that couldn't.
Hey, I
shoot
hear the
free
music.
throws?
Thanks for letting me get in. God bless
Otis
y'all.
Birdsong. I don't know if you remember Otis Bird's song.
Yeah.
That dude could shoot lights out, but couldn't hit a free throw. Couldn't hit a free throw, man. They had a couple of guys. Dudley. Remember, was it Chris Dudley?
Chris Dudley.
He was another one. Couldn't, Shaquille O'Neal. Yeah. There's dudes out there. Will Chamberlain.
I don't understand that when you're looking over the rim, so you see where to throw the ball.
It's a mind thing, because when you look at Giannis's form, his form is great.
Yeah.
There's something in the mechanics that's missing, man. Because his form, he do the follow through and everything, man.
You just shoot it too high sometimes.
Let me do this real quick. I was watching a documentary on Kareem. The sky hook is the greatest shot ever.
Because you can't block it.
You can block it, man. And the dude said when he get up 8 feet, they not. Let me do something up real quick, because I have a guest coming in at 9:30. There's a documentary on HBO. It's called I think it's Chicago versus Jesse Smollett. Watch it. There's some things about that case that in the throes of emotions we were kind of reacting. But there were some other things going on. I suggest people watch that. I have a totally different opinion now after watching that. Wow. You're listening to Community Voice. We're going to take a quick break. We'll be right back.
The holidays. And holiday trips. And holiday toys. And holiday bonding. And it all comes together in a Chevrolet.
Find your red tag. Get 1.9% financing on all 2024 Silverado 1500 pickups. Plus, get $3,750 total value on this Silverado when you trade in an eligible vehicle. Chevrolet. Together, let's drive.
Good morning. For all the folks who are joining us late, good morning. Welcome back to Community Voice, and we're just waiting on our guests to call in. What else happened? Good weekend, though. Was there anything else that went on this weekend? Yeah. Well, I wonder if people actually flew down to Vegas for the tourney.
Man, that would have been nice to go down there because it looked like it was nice and warm out there.
Yeah, they said that they had a lot of Atlanta people there because the Falcons play there tonight.
Yeah.
They got the Raiders.
Yeah.
So anyway, 414-444-5250. Let me get back. I was telling Michelle and folks here about this documentary that I watched on Jesse Smollett and the city of Chicago. And I remember when it first happened, man, you know, we were just all up in arms. We had everything we had going on. We had race, we had homophobia, you know, we had a lot going on. So a lot of people had comments. And then we found out that it could have been a hoax. You know, people turned real quickly. I mean, Dave Chappelle just went all out after him. And so if you are aware, what happened was that Kim Foxx, who is the Cook County state attorney, cut a deal with him. And I think he would plead guilty to the misdemeanor. It was a class 4 misdemeanor. And then he would forsake his bond as like a form of restitution. The Chicago Police Union had a real problem with that because they felt like the whole attitude you had from, I think Eddie Johnson was the chief of police. All these folks was that Smollett had basically given his middle finger to the city of Chicago, and they wanted him to pay. And so there was someone who was able to go in and request a special prosecutor, basically to reopen the case and retry the case. Jury found him guilty. The judge immediately remanded him to custody, so he went to jail. And as they're taking him away, he's yelling, "I am not suicidal. I am not suicidal. I am not suicidal." And so it was a question of what would happen to him if he was in a cell. It came up to where it was shading to Sandra Bland. And everybody remember what happened to Sandra Bland in Texas. So he goes in, he files an appeal. File an appeal on the idea of double jeopardy. I think either the appeals court or Illinois State Supreme Court ruled in his favor that in fact, and it's pretty much the same thing that happened with Bill Cosby. Bill Cosby did not get out of prison because he was found innocent. He got out of prison because there was a deal that he had with the prosecutor, the original prosecutor of the case. There were things that he shared based on the fact that if he did this, then certain things would happen in terms of how the case was going to, the disposition of the case. A new DA comes in, they go in, he gets convicted, he gets sent into prison, he appeals. And in effect, the Pennsylvania Supreme Court said that it was an idea. They had an agreement. They went back on the agreement. It was double jeopardy. Plus, they put him in a situation where they actually used what he did in terms of conversations and interviews and interrogation that was then used in the trial. And so people felt like that was unconstitutional. He would have never given up his right. That's Fifth Amendment. What did Dave Chappelle say? 1, 2, 3, 4, fifth. The Fifth Amendment.
1, 2, 3, 4, 5.
No, it said 5. Go. So so they were similar in that way. This is not to say that what Jesse Smollett did was right, but there is this thing called justice, and the punishment should always fit the crime. This was a class 4 misdemeanor, right? If anything, he gets some community service, probably be on paper for a little bit, but it was a misdemeanor. The idea that you push back against the Chicago Police Union and the Chicago Police Department, and they did. They put an enormous amount of man hours into investigating that case. We got all of that. He was going to forfeit his bond, which means that the money they felt like they spent on it, that they would be, what's the word? They would be compensated for the amount of money that had been spent. So again, it's a great. Rose is trying to call. Okay, she keeps calling. Okay, it's not ringing. If you're listening now, let's try to call again. For
5253 line.
All right, try this number 414-444-5253. 414-444-5253. And we see, because we did see someone trying to call in, but we certainly are waiting for them to make a call. Or if you're listening, can you let me know what's up? The number you're given, she should call a different number. Yeah, there you go. And so we'll get you through. So I think people should watch it. A lot of times, in the emotion of the situation, we'll make judgments. But when they call it the fog of war. A lot of times in the fog of a situation, all these things are going on. You're not seeing clearly. But when you look, there were a lot of people. I know the LGBTQ community was very upset because they are dealing with violence that's being perpetrated against their community, because they felt like, hey, man, come on. There are people out there who are really being victimized. You weren't. So there's a whole lot there. So if you get a chance, I think it's the city is Chicago versus Jussie Smollett, and what people can do. And here's the other piece of that. The same people who were so hell-bent on justice when it came to Jussie Smollett wasn't so much when it came to Laquan McDonald. Shot 16 times, basically not in a position of threatening the police officer. The judge basically suspended the sentence. But here's the thing. Laquan McDonald, when it first happened, there was an election for mayor. And the Emanuel administration covered up, would not release the tape. So it was almost 14 months after the incident that we were able to find out the truth. And even then, you have a situation where the folks are being, it's just justice. It's just amazing to me. And the outside influence that outsized influence that police unions have. I mean, Act 10 had everything to do with police and fire being very supportive of Scott Walker and that particular Republican administration. So then we get Act 10 and what Act 10 did. But a couple of things that people think about with Act 10, I know that there were mayors and probably county executives and others who understood that, well, man, we don't have to negotiate with other unions. The only unions we have to negotiate with in terms of a contract would be police and fire. Here's the problem with police and fire, that a lot of times, I mean, I can go back to the 70s where, the police union would do 70s and 80s. They would threaten to do the blue flu during Summerfest, right? And so what they were saying was there'd be X number of cops who are going to call in sick, right, in order to move folks to a certain point in the negotiations with the municipalities. The other thing that it did was, because you used to have what I think is called closed shops, all you union folks can let me know, which says that everybody, if you were there and there was a union there, you were pretty much forced to join the union whether you wanted to join or not. The argument being made that the benefits that the union would get for employees, you would benefit from too. So if they got a 3%, 4% increase, you would then be eligible for those things. So it looks like we have on the line with us Dr. Rose Dotson. She's the church council president there at the historic Cross Lutheran Church of Milwaukee. Good morning.
Good morning.
And sorry for the difficulty getting you in, but I'm so glad we finally got you in.
Thank you.
Good. And you do something there, the Food Justice Ministry. What is the Food Justice Ministry?
The food justice ministry is actually something that started at Cross in the 1980s, and it is where we provide food to people that have food insecurity in our community. And it's a food pantry. It's every second and fourth Wednesday morning from 10:30 a.m. until 1 p.m. And we have partnered with a number of people, a number of organizations, including the American Cancer Society and the Cole's Healthy Families program. They actually provide a grant for cancer prevention that Cross has been the recipient of for several years now. We partner with Feeding America. We partner with Just One More and a number of other congregations and community organizations, including Fathers Making Progress. And what we do is we have food that we give to people that come, no matter where they come from. We have people that come from all over the city, but especially people from the 53205 and 53206 neighborhoods where Cross is located. And we have dairy, fresh produce, we have meat and dry goods and grocery items that we provide to people. But we also, in addition to providing food for them, we try to feed their spirit and feed their mind some as well. And as a retired neurologist, I'm always concerned about people's health and about their brain health. And now that I don't treat sick people, I'm trying to keep people healthy. And so I do something I call Health Bites, where I share information, including information from the Cole's Healthy Family Guide. It's a guidebook that we received from the American Cancer Society and Cole's as part of our grant. So we've shared that with all of the guests that come to our food pantry. And I share some of the information and knowledge from that to help them live better lives, because that's what it's about, is giving people the knowledge that they need so that they are able to eat better. They're able to find ways to be more active physically. And these are things that can help prevent cancer. But I also share with them that it's not just something that prevents cancer. It can prevent heart disease. And as a neurologist, I'm concerned about brain health again. So it can prevent and lessen the chances of getting dementia. And so I try and just share little bits of information. And we have some interactive times that I call Health Bites with them. And then we have our pastors who have provided some times for, spiritual feeding. And there's a time of devotion and prayer and a time for discussion. We've provided people with an opportunity to have private prayer or counseling with one of our pastors as well. So we are really delighted that we're able to partner with Cole's and the American Cancer Society and other organizations that we can provide this to our community. Another partner of ours actually is Foodwise of the University of Wisconsin-Madison Extension, and they have sent nutrition educators in who, during our pantry and at other times for our population, have provided an opportunity for people to learn about nutrition, how they can eat healthy and find creative ways of incorporating fruits and vegetables and healthy whole grains into their diet, make it taste good. And so they've come in and done cooking classes, nutrition classes, some exercise classes as well, something that they call Strong Bodies. So our food justice program is not just about, giving people food at a food pantry. It's about giving them this knowledge and education that allows them to be empowered to live their lives in a way that will keep them alive and healthy and enjoying life longer than they might otherwise.
One of the great contradictions in America is that here we are, the wealthiest country on the planet, and we still deal with a level of food insecurity. I think that a few years back they did a study and said that people who are receiving SNAP benefits usually run out of that benefit 8 days before their next allotment comes out. So food insecurity is very real, in the country. So I say that set up to talk about the importance of what you do, but it seems like you also being more holistic, where you say mind, body, and soul.
Yes, we are. And that's something that I think is crucial because you can give people food, but you need to also just give them the knowledge. I'm a big person on knowledge and learning, and I I think that this is an opportunity for Cross and for those of us involved in the food justice ministry at Cross to really give people that opportunity. We also actually have a community garden, is the other thing I should mention, that started a number of years ago, and we've had partners from some of our suburban congregations that work with Cross that have come in and helped us. And this is a garden where anybody in the community can have a plot, and a number of people in the Cross community do. We partner with Shalom High School and Alternative High School next door to us, and some of their students have come over. The father's making progress. Men have come, and women and women actually have come and helped in the garden. And so this is another opportunity for people to learn how to grow their own healthy foods, because we know how we have to be careful with all the pesticides and herbicides and chemicals that may be cancer producing or may even be contributing to some neurodegenerative disorders like dementia and Parkinson's on the food that we may get otherwise. So if we can teach people how to grow their own food and give them that opportunity, that's another way that we can empower them to be healthier and to live their best lives.
Yeah, one of the many people who, and I don't know if it was your folks, who had migrated from the South to the North, descendants of enslaved Africans, the last thing they wanted to do was see a field. Right? So this idea of you growing stuff, it was like, no, I don't want to, because, just how difficult it was, the work that they did in the South. But you're seeing that more and more where you do see more urban gardens where people are growing. And let me shout out the city of Milwaukee, who they make the land available, right, for people to be able to grow.
Yes, they actually do make it available. They also provide people with education and knowledge. And one of the things that we're looking at Cross is to reinvigorate our garden ministry, and partnering with the city of Milwaukee or some other organizations is something we've considered, just to have the educators come in to educate people. But I must admit, I've been surrounded by gardeners in the past. My grandmother taught me how to garden, and it was very important to her, even though she migrated from the South and from Georgia and had, obviously been the descendant of slaves and all of that. But farming and having the opportunity to grow your own food was something that was important to her. And so as I think about this with Cross, I'm thinking that I'm carrying on a legacy that survived in my family despite slavery.
My aunt and uncle lived in Tennessee, Ripley, Tennessee. And my aunt had they called them truck gardens back in the day. And but at the same time, she also hung her clothes in that garden. And she never did a lot of weeding. So she would send me up in there to get clothes, and I'm hearing all these insects up in there. Man, I had a problem with gardens for a long time. It was such a traumatic experience. But, even though they had a farm, they had this one little special area where they would grow vegetables that they were using, for their personal use. And so I remember seeing that when I was very young. My wife now, she grows, in the backyard. What do we do this year? Kale, peppers, tomatoes, greens, collards, cabbage. I mean, not lettuce.
Nice.
Yeah.
Very nice. Very nice.
And so, just getting out there, and I think that's important. I think the other thing is dealing with the issues that we have, the 2 zip codes you identify. Sometimes they're dealing with food deserts. So people even trying to get nutritious and healthy food, because, if you're doing your grocery shopping at a corner store, they're limited to what they can offer you. And if you have, and I think that's the whole other issue, how do we deal with food insecurity, where we get rid of some of these food deserts that people are dealing with, particularly in urban environments?
That's true, and that's a challenge, and that's why one of the things that Cross does also is advocate for our community and work with the neighborhoods. And so we've become actively involved with the Lindsay Heights neighborhood leaders and with Walnut Way, and interacting with them so that we can, as a group, advocate for what you just said, to get grocery stores. Because not only is it that they have a lack of the fresh produce and the healthy items in some of those stores, but the prices are significantly higher than what they would be if they were able to go to a large grocery store. So So that's the other part of our ministry is to advocate for the changes that we need in order to eliminate the food deserts. While we are in the midst of that, we provide the food to the people in need.
So, is there a day of the week that you all offer this?
Yes, there is, and it's every second and fourth Wednesday, and it's in the church. And people typically come to the side ramp door, and we open the doors at 10:30, and then the program is from 10:30 until 1 o'clock, and we stay open till 1 o'clock because sometimes people are coming at our door at 1 o'clock. We don't want to miss anyone. The other thing I would say is that if someone is in need of food and can't wait till Wednesday or absolutely need something before, there are possibilities of them getting a food bag by calling our church office at 414-344-1746. But that's only in an emergency because we can't provide for everyone in that way. And then we have a couple other ministries where we provide food. We have the Adult Center for older adults, and I'll let people define what that is.
I was kind of wondering what that
there's
was.
No limitation. There's no limitation because I've had people that said, "I'm 50, can I come?" Yes. And we have some people that are 40 that come. We have some people that have some intellectual disability or slowness that come that are younger or have had brain surgery or some other surgery that have caused them to become disabled. And they come as well. So we have not put a limit on that. And we provide breakfast. We provide a freshly prepared hot lunch. And then I also have set it up recently in the last several months that we provide that group with their own food pantry because some of them are unable to come and participate in the others because of transportation problems. They have some mobility issues. And so they have their own private food pantry on Tuesday mornings, in addition to providing them with health information and opportunities to socialize and a chance to every month play bingo and win prizes. And then we do devotion and have a time of discussion as well. So a lot of them say that they get their food pantry, their church, their social time, their fun time in between church services on Sunday. We've included Tai Chi classes, yoga classes, and all of that is free and open to the community. And then the other thing that we have is we actually have a free clinic that started at Cross as one of our ministries, and it's called the Bread of Healing Clinic, and it's for uninsured patients. And we have food that's available. So, typically it's dry goods, canned goods, and things that are available that people that come to the clinic who may need food are able to get, so that we reach more people than just the Wednesday morning food pantry that we have.
I said second and fourth Sunday for second Sunday. I sound like I'm at church. Second and fourth Wednesdays. So what will happen because Christmas is on Wednesday this year?
I'm so glad you asked because I was going to say that we have moved it to this Wednesday. So
the 18th.
It will be December 18th from 10:30 a.m. until 1 p.m. and not on Christmas Day. And again, it will not be on New Year's Day either, but we will have it that second Wednesday in January.
Again, if you have a phone number, people can reach out if they have any more questions.
Yes, 414-344-1746, and that's the Cross Church office number.
Dr. Rose Dotson of Cross Lutheran's Food Justice Ministry. And we finally made this happen. And man, great talking with you. Hopefully you can come back and we can talk about it again next year.
I would look forward to it. Thank you so much for having me. I really appreciate it.
Appreciate you. Dr. Rose Dotson of the Food Justice Ministry, the Cross Lutheran Church. And again, Wednesday, you can go in for what would normally be, this Wednesday. Normally be their fourth Wednesday, be third Wednesday, just because of the Christmas holiday. You're listening to Community Voice. We're going to take a break. We'll be right back. All right, welcome back to Community Voice, and we have the great pleasure of being joined in studio by Major SHELLY McClintock. She's the divisional commander for the Salvation Army of Wisconsin and Upper Michigan. Good morning.
Good morning.
How are you?
I am good.
Welcome.
Thanks for having us today.
How long have you been with Salvation Army?
I have worked with the Salvation Army for about 25 years. So 25, 26 years.
Yeah, Salvation Army is, we use this term, ubiquitous. We see it all the time. When people see, what is the Salvation Army? What does it do?
You know, the Salvation Army is, I would say, a 24-hour a day, 365-day mission. Our goal is to meet human needs in Jesus' name without discrimination, to serve communities based on the needs of that community. So it might look different here in Milwaukee than it looks in Chicago, or it looks in Fond du Lac, or any other community. But the goal is to always make sure that we're being effective and serving those who need us most.
It is the holiday season.
Yeah.
And this is the time of year where you do the Red Kettle campaign. Explain to people what is the Red Kettle campaign and the impact it has on your programming and your ministry.
Yeah. So, the Red Kettle campaign started in the streets of San Francisco, probably almost 130 years ago. A Salvation Army officer wanted to have a Christmas meal for the community and needed to raise some funds to do that. And so that's where it all started. He went out to the street with a bucket and a bell and raised funds for a meal. And so what it looks like today is similar. We're still out there with a bucket and a bell, but there's a lot of other ways for people to give. And not only is the funds that we're raising right now support our Christmas efforts and the ways we assist the community right now, it also supports us year round. And so it's our biggest fundraiser. It keeps people sheltered here in Milwaukee County at our emergency lodge. It provides youth development programs across our community in 5 different locations. Just lots of ways we support the community with the funds raised this Christmas.
So some of the things, you have several buildings here.
Mm-hmm.
So what about the community piece that you have in terms of people using your facilities?
Yeah,
and the programming out of those
right.
facilities?
We want to be effective in the neighborhoods that we're in and all across Milwaukee. So, we have our Citadel Core, our West Core, the Oak Creek Core, and our Cold Spring Core. And each of those forms of ministry are very different there. Every Sunday, there's a worship service that happens, and they all look very different, based on the needs of that community and what they enjoy and as far as worship goes. But each has a food pantry. Each has an opportunity for people to come every week to receive groceries or food to support their family. Each location's assistance looks a little different too, based on the funding available and what that looks like. So outside of those 4 locations, there's also an adult rehabilitation center, which is downtown, our emergency lodge, 120 bed shelter that's full every single night of the year.
Where is that located?
I think it's like 7th Street. So it's
That's where my brother works.
Yeah. Oh, really?
Yeah, my brother works.
Oh, excellent.
He's worked there, man, 30 plus years. He's been there a long time.
Yeah.
But that need, you don't have, who has the building on Jackson? That's St. Vincent, right?
Must be.
Yeah.
Must be.
Some of the things that you also do you talk about how this is important in terms of your fundraising. Mm-hmm. Now that there are other ways for people to give.
Yeah.
And
Yeah. So, you can always mail in a donation to our divisional headquarters. That's on Watertown Plank Road. You can give online at samilwaukee.org. You can text to give at texting MKE at 24365. So 24 hours a day, 365 a year. So MKE at 24365. Also at a lot of our kettles, we have now what's called Tip Tap or Tap to Give. And it's just a way of giving with a credit card at a kettle location if you don't have cash.
Are you still, we're getting pretty close to Christmas, but are you still looking for bell ringers?
Absolutely. A kettle raises probably about $7 a day without a bell ringer. but a kettle with a bell ringer can raise $70 an hour. And so there's a tremendous benefit to having a bell ringer at our kettles. And so we are always looking for bell ringers at registertoring.com. You can go there, put in the zip code, and then pick your location. 2 hours volunteering makes such a tremendous difference.
You still doing the media folks out doing the bell ringing? I think I just saw Homer out there. I did it 1 year down at the market.
Yep. That was last week, the public market. It was like that really cold day when it was 2 degrees.
Yeah, that wasn't this year.
Yeah.
It was cold the year I did it, though.
Yeah, they let him come inside this year, which was such a blessing.
He said, I'll be right back. And I'm like, dude, when you coming back, man? It's cold, man.
Yeah, we're so grateful for the media folks who come out and ring for us. So, yeah. So thank you for the year that you did it.
Oh, yeah.
And we can look you up next year if you're interested in helping us out again.
Anything else you do around this time of year?
Yeah, actually today through Thursday is our Christmas toy distribution. So our Angel Tree toy distribution is happening out at our distribution center on 60th. We will serve over 9,000 children in the next 4 days, 3,500 families. Parents will be able to come through and pick out gifts for their children. These are all families who have pre-registered with the Salvation Army to receive gifts. And so it's the next 4 days are some of the best days of the year, where we see parents have the opportunity to choose what they want for their children and then know that they have something to put under the Christmas tree for their kids on Christmas Day.
Other things, you talked about the emergency shelter.
Mm-hmm.
Talk a little bit about that.
Yeah, so our emergency shelter is, like I said, open 24 hours a day, 365 days a year. We have men, women, and families staying with us. The emergency shelter is an old Econo Lodge hotel. And so many, many years ago, I think in the 70s, the Salvation Army acquired that building. And we've been able to renovate it enough so that families, depending on the size, sometimes have 2 rooms or 1 room. We also have some of the beds are respite beds. So men and women coming out of the hospital who don't have a safe place to go can come and stay with us and continue their healing process while they're with us. And so, yeah, plus, 3 meals a day are served there. There's a youth center for the kids who are in shelter with their parents. And so it's a wonderful place.
What's the average stay usually for those families in that shelter?
Probably 30 days or 30, 60, 90 days. I think it varies based on the circumstances. Our goal is always permanent housing. And so every single individual or family is assigned a case worker, a case manager who works with them to find permanent housing. And of course, we work with so many other agencies and locations that help us wrap around care for those families and individuals.
You all had challenges during COVID.
Yes, absolutely.
And the adjustments, but people still needed to have a place to go.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Yeah, we all had to adjust, didn't we? So glad that's in the rearview mirror. And, there's still situations, there's still times when folks, get COVID and we have to take precautions and those kind of things. But yeah.
But it also is one of those things where, I'm a real believer in Matthew 25 ministry, mm-hmm. That we feed the hungry, we clothe the naked, we shelter those who are in shelter, visit those who are sick, mm-hmm. we visit those who are in prison to provide support. So in my mind, I think that's Christian ministry.
Yes.
In terms of being able to do it. But in 25 years, it seems, I can ask you, in 25 years, is it the need is as great as it was when you first started? Is it greater? Has it dissipated? How would you describe it?
I would say in the last year or two, I've seen the need increase. And I think that's just this economy. We've seen families who need our services who haven't needed them before. Their dollars aren't stretching as far as they used to. But I think in 25 years, I've seen that ebb and flow. But God's word also says that the poor will always be among us. And so there will always be a need for others to step up and to fill the gap and to support those who don't have what they need to live, those basic necessities like food and shelter. And so that's what we're called to do, right? We're called to do that.
I think we miss it sometimes.
Yeah.
There is, I won't into a real deep theological discussion, but this idea that there's some people who believe that that people should work in order to eat. And I think in certain situations that's great. But what happens when the jobs are not there?
Right.
What happens when we deal with a global pandemic that shuts down, half of what we normally do? The need is still there. I think the other piece of it is how do we do this and it's judgment free? Right.
And that's exactly right. We serve people no matter what. I agree. I agree that there is a certain, there's something that changes within you when you're working and you are able to provide for your family, but it's an illness. It's a car accident. It's a car breaking down. It's a child being sick. So many of the people we serve are one paycheck away from being in a homeless situation. And so they live paycheck to paycheck. And so my job is not to judge. My job is not to provide any kind of barrier. My job is to say, what can we do to help you? What do you need today? And to love them like Jesus loves them.
Yeah, because Jesus didn't have a eligibility criteria, for service.
Right.
The need.
Right.
Was the criteria. What is the need? And then how do we address those needs?
Right.
And so organizations like the Salvation Army that's addressing a need, I admire that in terms of where we are. And you're right. Jesus did say the poor will always be among us. I mean, it's the laws of opposites, I guess, right? If you have rich folks, you're going to have poor folks. But that doesn't exonerate us from the responsibility that we have to serve the needs of other human beings.
Right.
Appreciate it. Anything else coming up that you all do?
Well, yeah, the Christmas Family Feast. Okay. And so it's our 35th annual Christmas Family Feast. It's hard to believe, for 35 years, the Salvation Army has been providing a community meal to the whosoever. Anyone is welcome and invited. So that is Christmas Day from 11 in the morning till 2 in the afternoon, where anyone can come and share in a meal. And
where's it going to be this year?
It's at the Baird Center again this year. Our chefs are on board and ready to go. The food prep is going to be starting here in the next few days. And so we're really looking forward to that day, where we will probably see around 4,000 people join us in person for food and fellowship.
Can they sit down now? We're back to in
Yep,
person.
it's all in person. So yeah, we don't do any carry outs. It's all in person. There's a great benefit to sitting across the table from somebody and enjoying a meal. And so we want to create that fellowship opportunity for people.
So we will. I remember going downtown and I couldn't even get near the Baird Center. It was so many people who had come down, and I mean, you're right. For some people, it's not, they can't afford food. It just gives them an opportunity for fellowship,
right?
To be in the company of other people on a holiday.
Yeah. And I think that's a lot for a lot of our volunteers that day too. We have over 200 volunteers on just that day who come to serve. And for them, a lot of our volunteers, they're empty nesters. Their children live far away. They don't want to be alone either. And so they want to come and be amongst other people and to share in the joy that Christmas Day brings. And so it's a great, great event.
Do people have to register for this event?
No. Drop in whenever, come as you are from 11 to 2. We'd love to see you.
And it's at the Baird Center?
Yep. The Baird Center. I think I've heard Santa might be showing up this year. He's going to be pretty tired from his trips that night. But so that's exciting, and
could never figure out how he hit all those holes.
I know.
Get it all done, and I don't know if you're native Milwaukeean, but I'm trying to think, was it Channel 6 that would actually track Santa? Because I guess NOAA does it, right? They track, from the North Pole. But I think that the idea of fellowship is real important. And that human contact, the fact that you're able to sit across the table from someone, and it just becomes a fellowship. Volunteers.
Yeah.
Is it too late for people to sign up to be volunteers?
Not at all. Not at all. There's always opportunity for volunteers. If you go to our website, there's a link that says volunteer now. You can click on that link and it'll give you all the opportunities to volunteer, whether that's bell ringing at registertoring.com or if that's volunteering for any of these opportunities. Nettie Perry, our volunteer extraordinaire, is there and willing to help get you connected to something that you're passionate about with a need that's in our community.
Again, the Salvation Army, is there a phone number that people or website they can go to?
Yeah, I think our website is probably the best way to hit the Salvation Army to find us, and that's samilwaukee.org. All of the resources are there. Also, social media. You can look on all the social media opportunities, and there's lots of ways to find the Salvation Army there too.
Major SHELLY McClintock.
Yeah.
The divisional commander for the Salvation Army of Wisconsin. We talked about the need to support the bell ringing campaign and the Christmas Family Feast, which will be held on Christmas Day at the Baird Center from 11 to 2. I appreciate it. Anything else you want to?
I just want to say thank you for your time and I wish you a Merry Christmas and God's blessings on you and your family.
Thank you. You're listening to Community Voice. We're going to take a break. We'll be right back.
The holidays, and holiday trips, and holiday toys, and holiday bonding. And it all comes together in a Chevrolet.
Find your red tag. Get 1.9% financing on all 2024 Silverado 1500 pickups. Plus, get $3,750 total value on this Silverado when you trade in an eligible vehicle. Chevrolet. Together, let's drive.
All right, welcome back to Community Voice. Well, I realize that I have to put together my memorable conversations for the year. Kind of do a year-end kind of programming, and I understand Michelle is running a contest on her programs in terms of people calling in and singing. I ain't gonna do that. No.
Did you hear JT?
Oh man,
Boom Quita? Oh, not that one.
Nah, this cat remix.
He
sound-
sung Silent Night.
Rhonda was listening to it.
Oh, it was deep.
What was Rhonda's take?
She just kept saying, JT is singing. JT is singing. And I kept going like, oh, okay. It wasn't like the time, I think this was Debo. Debo was hooking up a buddy. And Debo, you remember that where you allowed him to do his drop of his new song?
Which buddy was that?
I don't know which buddy that was, but I remember that song. And man, and the crazy thing was because listeners could be pretty cold, man. They started calling in, blowing up this dude's song, man.
What were they saying about it?
It wasn't complimentary. Oh man, this is a tough crowd out here, man. This is I bump into people.
And you know, Keith, I do that intentionally. People call me all the time, or they drop you an email. Hey man, I got a new track, man. Well, check it out, man. So instead of me telling them, I move it or groove it, man. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, I do that a lot. Well, actually, for me, some people don't like me because when I'm in the studio, you know, I'm a totally whole different person. So
is that the only time they don't like you?
No. It's some other times, but really in the studio, they really don't like me because I tell them the truth. So if they ask me, you know, what I think, man, I'm gonna tell you what I think. I mean, you shouldn't ask,
but you have to have some tact. You can't just be.
No, I tell them.
No, you got to. You
got to cut though.
You got to be like Ruben. Ruben said some dreams need to be crushed.
Hey man, I ain't got time to waste.
Man, I no disrespect for you. You know, because back in the day, you know, when I was really active singing in the choir, you know, everybody's saying we singing for the Lord.
Man,
the Lord don't want to hear that.
Sound like brass and cymbals.
Yeah, I know your heart is sincere, but we also hearing what we hearing, man. I mean,
yeah,
dude.
Listen here, man. You know, I'm sure, man, that the good Lord got ears, and He'll cover up every now and again when it ain't good.
I grew up in Metropolitan Baptist Church, and we had a plethora of great singers.
Yeah.
You didn't pick up the mic if you didn't have game.
Yeah.
You know, I mean, because the brutality of the comments would be just like
no compassion, huh?
Oh man, really?
See, but is it really compassion or is it just stating how you feel? I mean, because if you put something in your mouth that don't taste good, you're gonna say, "Man, this is nasty."
Right.
So that's just telling the truth. It don't taste good to you. So, you know, to me saying, "Hey, man, them notes is wrong, man. That's the worst thing I've ever heard."
Oh man, and you know, I all I listen, not say all. That's universal, but I do pay particular attention to the entirety of what we're doing. Because Debo, I was telling Debo, a couple guys hit some bad notes, and Debo was James Brown in them.
Oh yeah, call him out. Oh yeah, Jack.
Debo was like
Rick on the mic. Hey, Ricky on the drums. Give it up for Ricky. Oh man,
yeah, Ricky ain't coming back for the next set.
Like you gonna see Ricky again.
Last time you see Ricky,
I promise.
Say bye to Ricky because Ricky ain't coming back for the next set.
Say night to Ricky.
Go ahead and take a bow, Ricky. Take your bow.
It's your final bow.
That's it.
Oh man, but no, I just. You know, how do you blend sound and, you know, I'm a big fan of the Eagles. I love the Eagles, right? And one of the things those dudes always worked on was their harmony.
Yeah.
I mean, they always worked on it. I mean, you a band and you got everything else going on, but they work on that harmony.
Man, I'm going to tell you somebody else that got some great harmony. The Bee Gees.
Oh, my God.
Their harmony.
The brothers.
But it's just how they hear notes. You have to be skilled and talented because it's more than one note. So you got to hear 3 notes to blend and match.
Yeah, but it helps when you got family.
Oh yeah,
when you got family.
Oh yeah.
That's why West Side was so cold.
They had
3 families,
and they can sing.
All 3 of those families: the Harris family,
the Harris,
Pattersons, and the Hines, and the Daniels. 4 families,
and don't leave the Stokes out.
Yeah,
and the Stokes.
When you got that, and for us, you know, we were around each other.
Renfro's, boy, you got to start naming names over there.
Yeah, we'd be around each other so much we started sounding like each other. So when you're able to blend, that's why if you really listen to the Jackson 5 and listen to the background, you hear Michael, but listen to the other four, man. I mean,
they all sound like one.
I was watching a concert that the Winings did.
Oh yeah,
they had hair, so they had to be back in the 80s.
Oh yeah, you talking back in the day?
Yeah, and man, to hear those brothers,
yeah.
I mean, it was you were able to.
They kind of changed gospel as we knew it.
Oh man, what they call it, slow jam gospel?
Yeah,
they were kind of that turning point. With question is,
man, I'm gonna tell you,
man, wasn't nobody doing that.
Man, I'm gonna tell you. Well, actually, what they did was they took that whole style that was in at that time, like that whole '80s feel that was switching over from disco to that R&B pop type feel. Because when you listen to "These Are My People," it was that whole it was that whole time of the day that was going on in the '80s.
I remember true gospel, traditional church mothers and so forth. They didn't want you up there singing no whinings.
They didn't like that because it sounded like the R&B of that particular time.
Secular music.
It sounded like R&B of that particular time, which again,
see it in your face.
It's crazy because
you got something on your mind.
Music has no genre that it really should be in. It's the words that really dictate the music, because I can play anything and say anything to it. It's the words to which put it in the category.
Well, Church of God in Christ had a real problem with the Clark sisters.
Exactly, because they did that Stevie Wonder joint.
I was getting ready to say that Master Blaster. I'm sorry, you brought the sunshine. That's Master Blaster.
Master Blaster.
And you know what? Stevie was cool because Stevie never said, y'all stole my song, because it's but no, and then there again, their mother would say, you got to hear these notes and then blend your voice where, you got your individual talent, but then you're able to blend your voice. Oh man, I'm a big 3-part harmony guy. I grew up on it.
Yeah.
What's the group? Is it Pentatux?
That the acapella group. Yo, yeah. Oh man, they did a Christmas joint.
Yeah. Oh man, to be able to, and I'm gonna tell you, I've got a chance. I got a chance to hear Fellowship. Fellowship was my guy. I passed it down there. Homeboy.
In Tennessee, is it in Tennessee?
No, Fellowship in Chicago.
Oh,
Clay Evans. So that's
yeah.
Clay Evans.
Yeah.
Now it's Strong.
Yeah, Strong.
But man, they came. I was like, woo! Like I played that song. It's Been a Good Day.
Yeah.
By Maceo Woods.
Yeah.
That was another group. Man, they came in. But the greatest. I'm gonna say the greatest. And I heard them in person. Could not believe that 6 people could sound like 30.
Cool.
The Hawkins.
Oh yeah.
Man,
dude. Oh my God. It was just like, and I watch, I do a lot of YouTube. I go back and watch a lot of their performances.
Yeah. Yeah.
That is just, I mean, we got some folks out there, man, to just be able to.
Man, you talking Edwin, Daniel, Tremaine.
Man, Take 6.
Even though Tremaine was married in.
Yeah, and then their sister, who can really, that girl can sing.
What was her name? Danielle.
I saw her the other night. She just.
What was the other Hawkins sister?
You had
Danny Bell.
Hawkins.
Danny Bell. What was her name?
You had
Danny Bell did sing with them, didn't she?
Yeah.
No, but what was her name? God.
Tremaine Hawkins.
Lynette.
Yeah, because
Lynette Hawkins
Tremaine was Walter's wife. She wasn't a true Hawkins. She's married Hawkins.
Yeah. They grew up together.
Yeah.
Right.
They all, I mean, just to be able to, and then when I listened to the songs that Walter Hawkins wrote. Oh man, the lyrics would be so deep, and you go like, oh man.
But still, Oh Happy Day.
Which is actually that's an old standard that he updated. But he was the first crossover. That was 68, 69, something like that.
That was considered worldly at first, that crossover.
And I think it was because of that big perm, big worm perm that he wore.
Dude, the hair, the Hawkins, the hair,
and how they dressed.
How they dressed, man. They were the platinum standard. I mean, and somebody else you probably wanted to see if you didn't get a chance to see him in person, Andre Crouch. And the disciples.
He was a genius, man.
Not only were the disciples, the band,
Yeah.
that band that he put together,
Yeah,
man.
he was a genius.
Oh my God. So
did you ever get a chance to sing with Bobby Jones? I know that was one of your biggest inspirations.
Yeah. We actually went on the Bobby Jones show and rocked that joint, man. They still got that footage, man. I'm gonna find it.
He had the first time I heard him there was a concert that they had at Tennessee State. I was a student at American Baptist.
Yeah.
It was Love Train.
Love Train.
And dude, he had this dude named Gary that played. Ooh. This dude could not read music.
Yeah.
But they had a piece where they actually had like a string ensemble. This dude sounded like he was classically trained. That dude could play. And then he got sick, and then the other guy who ended up becoming his music Derek. Was it Derek Rock?
I think that was
but his music, that new guy that came in.
That was
man, and one of my exes sang with them. Joy sang with them.
Wow!
When she got to Nashville, because she started off with Modern Black Mass at Fisk, and she ended up singing with Bobby Jones.
Wow!
Man, those dudes, and it was funny because Bobby Jones was a school teacher. I think he grew up Methodist.
I believe so. Yeah, Methodist.
And be able, but in Nashville, during the 70s and 80s, gospel was, because people come down to the recording studio.
Yeah.
Because I think Savoy was based there.
Yeah.
Wow.
So you would see, these folks, and I think there's still people, because I don't know if BB is still living in Nashville, but I know his sister's living in Nashville. She's living in Nashville. That music there, you go to a church in Nashville.
Oh, it's a whole
there's so many talented musicians. And, we joked at American Baptist, like, oh yeah, whole lot of churches down here.
Yeah.
So, preachers come out. They didn't keep them long.
Yeah.
They didn't keep them long, man.
You're right, man.
But God, the music was just
huge now.
Huge.
It is.
Caller, welcome to the program.
Yeah, happy Monday to you. I know, we got this election thing done, but I want to ask you a question. With the Republican Party being the way they are, how can we F their money up? How can we make their life a living hell? See, I always say sue like a Jew, because one thing they don't like is when you mess their money up and make their life go from sugar to sugar honey ice.
Ask Jesus.
So I'm trying to figure out how can we mess that money up? So, we can make, so even though there are millionaires and billionaires today, with strategic planning, we can make them qualify for AFDC tomorrow. So how can we F that money up? I'm not talking about like back in the day when people used to call up CPS and get people kids taken away. That's small time. We need to do it on a bigger level. How can we mess that money up?
That's a good question now.
Yeah.
I mean, that how you messing with money, but hey, they get ready to mess with your money.
Yeah.
They talk about making some changes to Social Security. That's messing with some people's money, messing with my money.
Well, my thing is, for every law there's a loophole.
Right.
And see, they plan ahead. We plan for tomorrow. But if we use our minds and we do it in a revolutionary, cutthroat movement, like when we answer the question and we think about it, we remove our can't and use we can figure out how to F their money out.
All right.
Have a good one.
All right, you too.
I'll listen.
That's a profound question. But when he said messing with and let's not be anti-Semitic here, but it was we're in the Advent season, and we're talking. I think I'm trying to where you are in your Sunday school. You were talking about the advent of Jesus's birth. I guess most of us accept now that Jesus was not born on December 25th. We kind of got that. People working around it. I began to see that movement about maybe 7 years ago. You would hear fundamentalists say, okay, he probably wasn't born on December 25th. And then I guess it's into the whole discussion about the pagan influence in Christianity, right? And so we celebrate that day. Actually, for some people, some scholars believe that it's solstice. It wouldn't be solstice in the summertime, solstice in the summer, but this idea of season changing. And so there was this celebration of winter. And Easter is a celebration of spring, rebirth, right? And so, we go back and forth about whether or not Jesus was born on what we call Christmas. People are saying chances are not in the wintertime based on what was described in the Bible. Some people are saying, well, it don't matter what day he was born on. He was born.
Yeah, he was born.
Okay. But I'm just saying, if you just want to be historically accurate
Yeah.
in terms of what it is, but the influence that it has. And so I bought my Canara, my Kwanzaa candle stand, and we're going to. So Kennedy, she keeps asking, "Where's your Christmas decorations?" And we don't do a lot. We did put up our little tree with some lights in it. I'm talking like this big, but we're really gonna set it out for Kwanzaa, for us, by us.
Yeah.
And I think that the virtues and that Kwanzaa promotes, and I know a lot of people, oh, it ain't Christian. Okay. I got all of that, but it is also cultural. And one of the pieces that I thought was always very interesting is that a lot of the terms you see, I think the terms they use in Kwanzaa are Swahili. Well, most of us are descendants of Bantu people. Bantu people tend to be Central Africa, West Africa, South Africa, going that way. And Swahili is an Eastern African tongue, language. It is. But in the 60s, that's what a lot of the Afrocentric folks picked up Swahili. And so we do Swahili. But if truth be told, for many of us, if we could find out where we come from, we find out certainly many of us are not from Eastern Africa. Most of us are from, I said, our descendants. We are descendants of people who came from Central Africa, Western Africa, and then the Bantus then went down 620 plus languages, Bantu people. So this idea that Black people, African people are just this doo-doo jungle. No, man, our culture is so rich. And look at us. We're kind of like the children of Israel during the Babylonian captivity, where the Babylonians wanted to strip them of their culture. If you look at the 3 Hebrew boys in Daniel, those names that they're given are not Hebrew names. Their names were changed when the Babylonian people conquered them. That sound familiar? Black folks.
Sound like black, yeah.
When we got here, and they would change our names, strip us of our culture, and then 400 years removed, from where we came from. That is so the cultural piece. So, and I know Keon was a big fan of Ron Karenga because Keon believes Ron Karenga was an informant. But the idea that we do something for us, hip hop. Is created by us, for us. But now hip hop has become so ubiquitous. I heard a DMX song doing a commercial. Y'all about to lose my mind up in here.
Yeah.
20 years ago, maybe not.
You would have maybe not. You wouldn't have heard.
And then the crazy thing is, now you got hip hop artists doing nostalgia tours.
See, but check this out. What's happening is, DMX is no longer with us. So the record company, which is owned by people, is making the money off of that. So they make those
because most
decisions.
of the artists don't own.
They don't own their music.
Own their music.
So when you're dead and gone, these record companies that you sign your life over to, when you don't control your masters, they can put your songs in commercials, all type of stuff. So your memory will live on. But their bank account is getting longer.
And things that you saw with Frankie Lyman.
Yeah, exactly.
And his manager put his name on as the writer or producer. Performers don't get the money that the writers and producers get.
Exactly. You only get that upfront money from performances. They pay you for a performance.
That's why you
fee.
tour.
That's
where you're making your money.
That's why you're
because
making money.
Most people don't have. Michael Jackson had the same conflict.
Yeah.
Prince wouldn't sign with a major record label.
Prince went under a symbol because of a sign of protest
with Warner Brothers.
He went under the name. He went under the symbol until they released him, and then he went back to his name.
But he did Bet You By Golly Wow when he was the symbol.
Yeah.
Oh my God, President would bet you by golly. Wow.
Yeah.
Oh, and then I heard the other day, just in the car, Will Downey. He did Things I Missed at Home. Oh God. But yeah, a lot of folks don't own.
Yeah,
they
man.
don't own their business. I didn't realize just how Donald Lawrence was talking about Kurt Franklin, and who was the group that he did that did Stomp?
Kurt Franklin and Family. Was it Kurt Franklin and Family?
There was a different group that did Stomp.
God's Property. God's Property.
And they had a big dispute.
That's why they changed the name.
Right. They had a big dispute because the woman owned all of that.
Yeah.
But then Donald Lawrence tells the story. Well, they came in and said, "Can we put you down as a producer? We'll give you a point."
Yeah.
And he said, "Oh man, I'll do it for a point." He didn't realize that song took off. So that point turned out to be a whole lot of money and still making money.
Listen, man, my first deal that was offered to me, this dude was like, "Man, I want to sign you." It was a major label. I mean, major, with a major artist that's still going hard right now. The offer was this: I need 75% of your publishing. So that means the 20 that's left over, what's that, 25 that's left over? It can be split with as many other producers or writers that come in on that record. So if I would have signed that deal and they would have brought in writers and other people to work on the record, that 25 is split amongst us. So that means I really don't get the 25. I might get 1, I might get 2, I might get 10. It depends on who all comes in on the record.
And then
it's crazy, man. It's dirty, man.
Right. They putting the money on you if you're doing a video.
Yeah.
They taking that out your money.
Yeah.
And again, musical groups are not, unless you're a writer, you making your money. Now, David Foster got so many songs out there that people still performing. He's getting paid.
Yeah.
But when you look at someone that was the whole issue with Stevie Wonder and Motown. And normally they would not give, I don't know what Dozier Holland got in terms of what they got, but Motown was getting the lion's share of that money.
Yeah.
With Stevie, because Barry Gordy said, "Look, I can let him go to Warner Brothers. I can let him go to Columbia. They're going to pay him far more money." So he said, "Look, tell you what you do. You stay here. You control most of your product." And being as prolific as Stevie Wonder, that's a lot of money. People are like, Stevie Wonder got like 7 kids, 8 kids. His great grandkids gonna be eating.
So what's so crazy, and I just thought about this, Keith. Slavery made so much money that people really took that whole idea of owning people and put it into stuff that you wouldn't even think is modern day slavery. Like, for instance, the record company. Because if I sign this contract, you're going to give me something that I owe. So if they give me $1 million, that's upfront money that I'm going to have to pay back. I'm going to have to pay that back. And then if my records don't sell, they put me on a shelf, I'm not making money. So now I'm in the hole.
And then they're going to release me.
And I still got this debt.
And so how do you do it? Well, I guess I'll sign over my publishing rights.
I sign over my publishing and mastering. So then they put all of the money into making it go so they can eat off of it. Yeah, you get the fame, but you don't see the fortune. So people know who you are.
Right.
But you broke as a fool.
Well, you got a tour.
Yeah.
And you got a lot of these guys in their 70s still touring.
Man.
Now, I guess if it's the Rolling Stones, just because they got money hand over fist, right? And they're almost 90. But I bet you if you announce a Rolling Stone tour, it's going to be sold out.
It's going to be sold out, yeah.
Eagles.
Yeah.
There are groups out there, even Earth, Wind, and Fire, Chicago.
Yeah. But I feel bad for like the rap artists from back in the day that had the following. But as you get older and the rap music scene changes, you might have some of those same fans that you had back in the 80s and 90s, but you're not selling out arenas.
And that's the other piece. When you sample
Yeah.
and Stomp,
Yeah.
they sampled Brothers Johnson, right?
Brother Johnson.
So whoever wrote that song, I don't know if that's a Brothers Johnson, they wrote it because Quincy Jones was their producer.
Yeah.
That whoever, they getting paid every time you play Stomp.
Sure. Patrice Russ.
A Russian?
Haven't you heard?
Oh, yeah. Michelle got a chance to interview her.
For you.
Yeah, she turned into like one of the great musical directors.
Yeah.
You see those programs.
Yeah.
There's this other dude out there. I can't think this dude's name. That he does a lot of the shows that you see out there. But if you get the Academy Awards, if you get the Grammys, and you're the musical director,
oh, you got that bread, man. My cousin, Big Jim, he was doing the gospel. It was kind of like American Idol, but they was doing it on BET. What's the name of the show? Sunday's Best.
Sunday's Best.
Yeah, so he was the.
There's a Leandra Johnson performance. Sunday's Best.
Oh yeah, she
worked, lit it up to the point.
Yeah,
the panel was crying.
Yeah, Doc. Yeah,
and Leandra done had some problems.
Yeah,
she went after Marvin Winans.
Yeah, oh yeah, she went after the cold too.
Yeah.
I mean, she had a point.
Well, the talent is just, I did a message over at Antioch, and I said that the wisest don't always get bred. The fastest don't always win the race. The strong don't always win. And you think about it, there's so many people who you hear people, no disrespect to my guy, because I got a chance to, but there are better singers out there than John Legend.
Oh yeah, way. Yeah.
But here's the difference. John Legend got the break.
He got the break.
Yeah. And that's a whole other thing. A lot of times they talk about that door of opportunity when it opens. You got to be ready to go.
Yeah.
But I pointed out something that Bishop Anthony Oliphant said. It was so profound. He said that your gifts will make places for you, right, among high places. He said, but it's your character that keeps you
there. Yes, sir.
Because after a while, David, we tired of putting up with you.
You got to go.
You got to go, man. Bobby?
Yeah. You gotta go.
They got a whole little thing in their show now where there's a video that they did, a song they did, and Bobby Brown leaves the stage.
Oh, yeah.
Then he come back after the song. They said, "Where you go?" He said, "I wasn't in the video where you did it. Y'all kicked me out the band. So I ain't gonna be out here helping you with this one because you kicked me out." But you think about someone like David Ruffin, incredible talent, but has some other issues, man.
I mean, even if you look in the sports scene, you got Allen Iverson, man, he was praised in Philly.
Oh,
and then, it just got to the point, man, that they got tired of him. Like, man, you got to go. They shipped him off to Denver. He went to Denver and then to Detroit.
What we talking about? Practice?
See what I'm saying? So, I mean, had all of the talent. I mean, gifted player. I mean, carried the team on his back.
2000, they ain't in NBA Finals
without him.
Without him. So.
And them cheating the Bucks, but that's
no. Scott Williams,
Big Dog,
Williams.
Big Dog got fouled.
No,
man.
but
they didn't call that.
If Scott Williams doesn't get suspended,
oh yeah,
that's the difference. He gets suspended for Game 7. Ask Golden State. Yeah. Draymond Green gets suspended for Game 5 against Cleveland. That changed the world.
But that is true. But I think on that shot that Big Dog had right at the free throw line, he took at the free throw line. And they fouled him and didn't call it, and he missed that shot. They didn't want us to go to L.A. because we beat L.A. both times we played them that year.
I don't know if they beat L.A.
Yeah, they did. Look it up.
Kobe and Shaq?
They beat L.A.
I know they
twice.
Did, but do you think they beat him in the?
Yeah, man, because they couldn't stop Ray Allen. Ray Allen was playing like Jesus Shuttleworth.
Jesus Shuttleworth.
He was playing like the
Jesus
movie.
Shuttleworth.
Yeah, he was playing like Jesus.
Oh man, I love that was I love Reggie Miller as a commentator. And when he was going through that slump down in Miami, Reggie Miller got frustrated. Tell him he's Jesus Shuttleworth. He's Jesus Shuttleworth.
Yeah.
I mean, you so cold. They name you after Jesus,
man.
And there's only one other player I can remember, Earl Monroe, because in Philly they called him Black Jesus.
Yeah,
that's how cold that boy was.
Yeah.
Let me thank everybody. Michelle, thank you. Debo, thank you.
Yes, sir.
Carby, thank you. I know you're gone. Jermaine, thank you.
Yes, sir.
Hey, the good Lord willing, Creek don't rise. We hope to talk to everybody tomorrow. And as always, go from this place in peace.